And today is day 65, and we're reading from Numbers chapter 26 and 27. And here we are with this new generation. A census is required. It's being taken now 38 years later. We began the book of Numbers with the first census of the existing generation that came out of Egypt. But now most all of them have died, and they're preparing to enter the promised land. And this census of this new generation, which reveals the fact that there's less in number than in that first census, 601,730. This future new generation's preparing to enter into the promised land. The census confirms what God had said, that all of the previous generation would die before they entered in. God instructs Moses and Eleazar how to divide the land he's giving them. The larger plots are being given to the larger tribes. The smaller plots of land will be given to the smaller tribes. But the Levites are given no inheritance because God is their inheritance. In chapter 27, we see a unique situation. Zelophehad had no sons. So his daughters approach Moses for consideration. Moses takes their request to God. You see, as it had been established, only the sons could inherit possession. But these brothers had passed away, and only the daughters remained. And so Moses takes the request to God, and God says, they're right. And he instructs Moses to give them their inheritance. But not only that, God makes this a new law for all future generation. Then God pulls Moses aside and lets him know that he's about to die. This is the same thing that he did with Aaron. But how would you think it for yourself if tomorrow when you wake up and God were to come to you and say, hey, listen, today's your D-Day. This is your day to die. Well, Moses is going to not inherit the land. He's not going to be able to go into the land. God had already told him that years earlier. But God is going to give him an opportunity to climb the mountain and look over and see the land that he had promised that the children of Israel are about to enter into. Don't feel sorry for Moses, though. He won't be missing it because where he's heading is going to be a whole lot better. Unfortunately, this was the price that he was going to pay for what God describes as Moses' rebellion and for not hallowing his name in the presence of the children of Israel. 40 years Moses endured the whining and the bellyaching, the griping and the complaining. Yet Moses is concerned with this future generation. Did you pick up on it as you were reading today? That he's concerned for their protection. He's concerned about who will lead them. He is like that shepherd, concerned even for that one lamb. He wants to make sure that they're going to be okay. The same man who seems to again and again been willing to surrender and yield time to intercede and pour out his heart to God for mercy. Well, God selects Joshua, and why wouldn't he? Joshua has demonstrated again and again his passion for God, his loyalty to Moses, and his obsession for more of that precious Shekinah glory in his own life. The Bible identifies, in fact, God himself says, here's a man in Joshua, he said, he is filled with my spirit. So we have one in the Old Testament under the Old Covenant that is recognized as spirit-filled. So lest you think that there has no available opportunity to be touched by the Holy Spirit, may we see in this passage that the Holy Spirit was active and present and available. Thank God we live in a day because back then the Holy Spirit was available to a few, but today the opportunities for each and every one. So he is spirit-filled. Moses lays hands on Joshua. He inaugurates him. He imputes what is in him, transferring his authority upon Joshua. And then he's compelled, the people are compelled to obey him as they had obeyed Moses. Thus we enter into the next generation as they prepare to enter into the long-awaited promised land. And there will be challenges and battles to fight, and there will be difficulties and disappointments, but we will see the power of God exercised through Joshua to bring the people to victory, and his name, God's name, will be praised and glorified.